Hi, I'm Kori Nicole Barnes TV, and I'm here today with Nicole Remy and Danie. How are you all today?
Doing great. We're
So good.
here in sunny California, enjoying the sun. We're having a nice time. So it's nice to speak with you today.
Yeah, really.
I love California. That's my favorite place in the world. So just give me a little insight. What did you all do today?
Oh, yeah. We've just been lunching and brunching and just kind of doing
Living our best lives.
living our best lives. Yeah.
Okay, so since your show is coming out, I am so excited. After watching the trailer, I immediately thought of Bridgerton. I was like, wow, this is such a modern day, like fairy tale, like princess. Like, how did you feel essentially feeling like, a princess while filming?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was very different from my day-to-day life. I work from home. I'm an engineer. I'm typically in pajamas with my hair in a bun. And then you see me on the show with my hair and makeup done, wearing these dresses. It's an interesting juxtaposition, but it was very fun. It was part of the fairy tale of it. I feel like you've probably felt the same way.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. Like, I am a tax accountant by day, and same thing. It's like yoga pants, and we're not like getting glammed. And then here we are wearing couture gowns and having our makeup done. And it was just, and living in a castle. Like, who says that? So it was just a very wild and magical experience, like once in a lifetime.
Well, since you all are describing your everyday lives a bit different than how the show portrays, how would you say your ideal perfect day is? Like on a regular day, is it just, like lounging in the house and wearing sweats, or how would you describe it?
Well, I mean, I know what it would be. I think it might be the same for her, but Seattle during the summertime, where we're from, it's beautiful. We're on a boat, we're drinking rosé, we're eating snacks, and then we followed up with dinner with friends, and then
Yeah.
like a little backyard
Garden party.
garden party, or like bonfire at night.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, honestly, a boat day, float day, rose, Aperol, all the things. Like, and just always good food. I feel like the one thing
Yeah.
that you can always count on us for is like consuming delicious food.
Mhm. I love it. I love being on a boat too. Rose is great. Yes, we love we love sun, self-care. Yes. In the
Yeah.
promo, I was even able to see, in the promo with your family, and even now, like I can tell you all are very like close with your chemistry. How did it feel having your family surrounded? Like, what was it that made everyone jump on board with it and was like, yes, we want to support you, we want to be a part of this process, when the idea was presented to you?
Well, actually, I'm going to let you answer this one because obviously I'm excited to do the show, but yes, I had to bring a court with me. So how'd y'all feel about it?
I mean, when you called me and said that you needed me to be there, I was like, done. When's my flight? Like, it wasn't, I didn't really have to think about it from the perspective of like, will I go? It was like, once she decided that
Mhm.
she was going to go, I was like, how do I support you? And right, like, you just didn't, I didn't even think twice. There was no other answer other than absolutely yes.
Yeah, I mean, that's the best part about my family was that I never really had to convince them. They really, on their own accord, were like, we're going to come and support you. And I can't say that every family's like that. So I felt really blessed to have that support system in a place that felt so unfamiliar. Having that peace of home was really important to me.
Yeah.
Did you feel any pressure, coming into like filming this reality show since you are, a young African American woman? Well, I've never seen a show like this, like featuring us. So I'm so glad to see like more of us. And I felt like, wow, like it's literally like romantic. It's genuinely like romance in a sense. And I was like, wow, just seeing the old, like, like courting and like in the trailer, I'm just so excited to even see all of that. Did you feel any pressure like coming into the show, or you were just like, I'm just gonna be myself. I'm just gonna like go about it like the cameras aren't even there?
Yeah, I mean, I always wanted to be myself. And I think even during the interviewing process for the show after it was presented to me, from day one, I just continued to be myself and they seemed to like it. So I was like, okay, great. Well, if it's working, don't fix it if it's not broken. So, and then also for me, of course, I felt an immense amount of responsibility, but also like honor being able to represent the Black community in this way. I think something that's really important is showing Black love stories and showing especially Black women being pursued and desired and valued, because we typically don't see that. So we're changing the narrative here, you know, with a Black female lead for this brand new dating show. And I think that that's so beautiful and revolutionary in its own way. And I think people are responding well to it.
What did you think about the difference in the setting of, you know, the attire, like the venue, like the plays? What did you think about the difference in how, you know, old school was compared to like modern, like reality shows?
What did you think?
I loved it. I felt like it just brought a whole fresh new take on reality dating shows. We've seen, you know, some dating shows that are a little more risque. We've seen some dating shows that have had a 20-year longevity, and then this pops up and it's like just so epic. It's so different. And I think that that's why people are falling in love with it, because it's like, wait a second, they're honestly being thrown back in time. Like, we lived in a castle, we wore empire waisted gowns and like kitten heels on a daily basis, and like the guys are in Knickerbocker, like whatever they're called. It's like, this is so cool.
It is cool. And I think another cool thing too is that because it's that mix of a dating show, which everybody loves the drama and the passion from a dating show, but then it also brings that Regency style, like, you know, chivalry and romanticism. So there's a little something for everybody.
I have to ask, since we are talking about romance and love, are you all both, would you all say you all both like hopeless romantics? And like, what is your favorite romantic like film ever?
Oh, I mean, I feel, okay, let's say it on three. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Pride and Prejudice. Oh! I knew it. I just had a feeling. I was like, let's try it.
Wow, literally synced.
I mean, how could you not?
We are sisters.
That scene in the Keira Knightley rendition where he reaches out his hand because, and then like kind of like, because he feels the passion, and like, that is so beautiful. And I think what you'll see of a lot on the show actually are maybe 1 or 2 guys that have a tough time sharing how they feel about me and kind of their journey of being able to find their voice in sort of like a romantic way, which I think is really beautiful. So you might see a couple comparisons to Pride and Prejudice characters on the show.
And it was beautiful watching these guys, right, without all the distractions. That's another part of this whole experience that was beautiful, is we didn't have those distractions. Watching them grow in their ability to find like love for themselves, to be able to open up their hearts. Or my sister.
So sister, you approved of a lot of the, you know, the gentlemen. How did you initially feel like about them coming in?
Yeah, but I feel
yeah, like how did you feel? Give us tea. What's tea?
Where's our tea? Well, you know, I was probably the most skeptical, I would say, on the court, just because I'm like very protective of my sister and I love her to pieces. So I just want what's best for her. So I was very much like, you know, Hawkeye, but at the same time, I was like wanting to get to know them and understand them. And so you can't do that if you're constantly like questioning them or whatever. So there was definitely like, oh, okay, let me get to know you on a friendly basis and understand, what are you here for? What are you doing? How are you thinking? Feel free to open up so that I can let her know. You know what I mean?
Right. Like I'll just, you know, I might be able to, you know, tell her stuff about you. Might be able to give you a little in.
Yeah, but definitely number one goal for the whole experience was like making sure that these guys were good enough for her, because like she's perfect. So we just want what's best.
I love that. So Danie, you also mentioned that, you know, chivalry is very prominent in the show. So for the both of you, what do you all feel is your favorite form, or, you know, something that you've always like liked about like an old traditional form of like chivalry, or like a gesture that people may not do as much anymore, but you've like always appreciated?
I know for me personally, I really like it when guys write letters. I think it's really
Mhm.
sweet. And you'll see on the show, the guys are writing letters in calligraphy.
Mhm.
When I was in college, all of the guys in the frats, if you like went on a date with them or went to like a dance with them or something, they would always write you a handwritten letter and deliver it to your house on Mondays. And that was so fun in the Greek system. And it was like a little bit of that chivalry that like I saw on the show. So I was like, okay, yeah, I'm familiar with this and I like it. Like, let me see more.
Yeah,
What
I
about
love
you?
that. It was amazing like how much these gentlemen embrace chivalry. And every time my mom or me or Tessa or Nicole were like walking downstairs or getting out of the carriage or whatever, they were there to like grab our hands. Oh, your dress is falling. Like, and I was like, how many butlers do I have here? It was just a situation that I had never experienced like to that extent. Like we were so taken care of by these gentlemen, which I thought was like really beautiful that they came in there and they understood the assignment from like day one.
Yeah. And also seeing how they treated my family and how well they took care of my mom in particular really showed me what kind of guy they are.
Yes.
And that was like something that I always kept track of. I was like, yeah, that's partner potential right there.
Yeah.
That's
I love that you all had such a pleasurable, like, experience. So I'm wondering, were there any challenging moments that you all experienced while filming?
do you
Go
want to
ahead.
I mean, of course, like
Mhm.
it was challenging because and not everybody may agree with this, but there were real feelings involved. And I know that's how I felt and I stand by that. So it made it really difficult for me to send people home. Even weeks 1, 2, and 3, I didn't know the guys that well, but I knew them enough to know that they had left everything behind and come to the space to hopefully find love, and to know that I had to send them home was really tough for me because I know what it feels like to be rejected. I've been through that too. And, having to do it with as many guys as I had to, it never got easier. And I know that my court also would shed some tears too during those elimination balls. So
Yeah, I mean, the last thing we want to see is Nicole's heartbreaking or, her hurting for anything, right? And so I think that process of just like, we have met boyfriends in the past or whatever, but we've never been this involved to this level. And so to walk through that journey with her in every aspect, the highs and the lows, it was very much an emotional roller coaster, but like a roller coaster I would get on again, of course, like, because it was beautiful to like just be there as a support system for her. And I think the other thing was like, that was hard would be when you could see that like a guy was opening up, but they'd like pull back and I'd be like, no, like just open up.
I'm rooting for you. No.
And even if I wasn't rooting for them, it was like Nicole would come in and be like, listen, this is what I'm here for. I am laying it all out for you. And I'd be like, lay it out for her. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so, but it was, I mean, all of it was beautiful, to be honest, even the sad parts.
yeah, I agree.
You mentioned that it was a bit, challenging to let certain people go each week. Was there a certain process that you had when determining who you would release? Or did you like consult with your family? Like, how exactly did that work every week for you?
Yeah, typically we would talk as a court and discuss the guys. But at the end of the day, I really listened to my heart. And although I appreciated all the advice, I didn't ever let that sway my opinion. Because ultimately it is my journey. And I felt like I really took time to think like, all right, who could I really see a future with? And again, never made it any easier. And a lot of the times too, I talked to Rick, Mr. Edwards, the host, about it. And, he'd give me his 2 cents and it was a process that made sense for what we were doing, with me dancing with them during the elimination balls, telling them how I felt, them telling me how they felt. It was just unlike any other dating show, but it really did give us an opportunity to talk about feelings in a very raw way.
So you also mentioned another good point, Nicole, when you were saying that, some critics sometimes feel that reality shows are scripted and they're not like genuine, especially like dating shows. What would you say to like critics that, of course are gonna come your way because there is inevitable once this premieres?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say that, you don't really understand it until you're in that person's shoes. So I would just hope that everybody has a bit of grace when they watch it to realize that these are real feelings. And what you see is tough sometimes. Like when I'm crying, I feel it. I felt it for those guys. And I know that when they were sad and emotional, they felt it for me too. And I would hope that people would just come along the journey of the romance with it and not be too critical, because it's ultimately people's lives. And I think regardless, we should respect that.
Before both of you, go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, it really was so real. Like, you can't make it up.
No.
Before the both of you, entered filming, and then once you like left after everything was completed, did you feel different like afterwards? Did you feel like a transformation, the both of you?
Well, no, I don't know. It was different for me, right? Because I didn't go on the show to like find my husband, because I already have one. So that wasn't the reason why I was there. I was there to support her. So the way that I think we all just kind of grew during the process, but it wasn't the same. It's not going to be the same, clearly.
Yeah, and that's fair. I think going into it, I had a certain level of confidence that I thought was very, very high at the time. And coming out of it, I felt even more confident because I had managed to share my feelings and be vulnerable and feel beautiful around 16 different guys, when I didn't always feel like that growing up. But I developed such a level of self, confidence of like, I can do this. Like I can dance with a guy and break up with him while I'm dancing with him. Like I can talk in front of 60 guys. Like I can go on a date with one guy one day and another date with another guy the next day, and feel empowered to do so because that was my journey.
That's a good, yeah.
Before signing on to this project, did you ever see yourself, being the lead of your own reality dating show? Did you ever imagine like, wow, this is what I'll be doing? Or was it just like, this is happening?
The second, I'm still like, wait, did we go on a date? I mean, it was incredibly fun, obviously. And I am so grateful that I was open to the opportunity, because this is truly just an experience of a lifetime. I did not see myself being the lead of a reality dating show, but I knew that I wanted to find love. So it just, when the opportunity was presented, it made sense in the time. And, I would probably still be at home coding right now if it weren't for this show. This has shown me just a completely different perspective on life and introduced me to something different. But yeah,
I think that everything you said is so true. I always knew Nicole was going to be a star. But no, she just takes ownership of her life, and because of that, this opportunity, presented itself to her, and it just made sense that she is the person that is leading the show through its inaugural season.
Now, since we are in the day and age, of course, of social media, we have social media dating apps. It's everything, opinions flying everywhere. It's so prominent. For the young, women and men that are watching the show, like in the hopes of finding their own true loves, or, they just love like watching shows such as these, what advice would you give them in their search for true love or for healthy relationships?
I mean, that's something I think of quite often, and it reminds me of the guys on the show, because I always encourage people to be very vulnerable and open, and just know that the right kind of person will love you for you. And when I think about the guys that went on the show, I always said from day one, I was like, my guy is definitely here, because if any guy is willing to wear tights and a cravat, go to the UK, learn how to do calligraphy, dance with me, like down to be down, like that's my guy. And I just want somebody that's open to doing new things and not be afraid or keep themselves from being vulnerable.
Yeah, I would just say that healthy relationships take work. And I think that is lost a lot in the modern age of romance and dating, is that,
definitely that everything might be just easy, and it's not.
Yeah. And I've actually married almost 8 years, and I'm like, you guys, it has not been all rainbows and butterflies, but it is a beautiful journey. But you have to work on it every single day. Like, and so as soon as you realize that, then I think it's easier, because you're not so upset with, oh, we got in a fight. It's like, okay, but how did we come out of that fight? And how did we get through that? And so I think that the the finding love is one step, which is like beautiful, watching her go through this process. And then the keeping the love is another step. And you just have to be very open and honest with yourself, still vulnerable with your partner and growing with them and all those things. So just important to like keep a realistic perspective about all of it.
Okay, thank you all so much for joining me for this interview. I'm so happy for you. I love that you all have such a close relationship and you're so family oriented. I feel that only makes everything stronger. So I am just so happy for you. I'm so like excited for this to debut so everyone can see it. You'll be getting a lot of interactions on social media, but I'll definitely be tuning in to see everything. But thank you again. I'm Kori Nicole Barnes, TV, and I'm here with Nicole Remy and Danie.